Ladies and gentlemen, you know that media and Democrats have completely lost it when the Washington Post publishes Trump's name should live in infamy. Really? Really? Trump is basically Pearl Harbor? Is that how it works? You don't like him. You don't like his personality that much. You're comparing him to one of the top two worst days in the history of this country. His name should live in infamy. Of course, George T. Conway III. If there's one thing we know about President Trump, it's that he lies and he cheats endlessly and shamelessly, but still mostly incompetently. Well, why didn't they impeach him on anything to do with cheating or lying? They didn't impeach him on any legal statute that he broke. They tried to get him on everything from Stormy to taxes to Russia to Ukraine, and not one legal statute was broken. The reason is because he's actually a lot less corrupt than Democrats or Madam Secretary, who will be the nominee. Clinton is the only chance they have, and they know this. And I called this. This is the biggest political call of all time. They're postponing the vice presidential pick because Madam Secretary hasn't decided yet who she wants. Biden is not in control of anything. We already know this, okay? We already know this. The same Bernie Sanders supporters who focused on his cognitive decline, his obvious cognitive decline, who are now pretending that it's really Trump. The secret is out. There's not even really a secret. Everybody knows that they're not going, when you think about it, everybody knows they're not really serious about the former vice president. Here's a man who looks like an exhumed body. He has all the charisma of Rip Van Winkle's nightmare. And he looks like he communicates and acts like a cadaver that got Botox and plastic surgery. So, this isn't rocket science here. You're not really looking at a person that, you're not really looking at somebody who's serious about becoming president, or really wants to. He didn't know where he was the other day. He thought Arizona was a city. He literally stated he was running for Senate. Then he tried to tank his campaign 3 days before George Floyd was murdered, on with Charlemagne the God, saying the most offensive and horrible comment, that if you have a problem voting for me or Trump, then you ain't black. This is the height of arrogance, narcissism, hubris, and any other supremacy or enabling or any other political, viewpoint or theory or euphemism. That is the height of that. To have someone like Biden speak in such a condescending manner to 40 million Americans. But see, Democrats can get away with it. I don't know why, but they get away with everything. Now, this is interesting. The Hill, prosecutors hint at probe into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct of the Trump Organization. Okay. Number one, I thought that, so we know that Clinton's going to be nominee eventually, whether at the convention or after the convention, or she'll be debating President Trump. She'll be across that ballot. We know this. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. But I thought that you weren't supposed to investigate a candidate going into an election. So I thought you weren't supposed to investigate your political rivals. It must be nice to have the Manhattan District Attorney, the Southern District from New York, literally, not hyperbole. This is not hyperbole. It's literally an extension of the Democratic Party. It has served as an extension. Where's the red state and city within that red state where investigations on Biden, Clinton, and Schumer and Pelosi are taking place? I want to know where President Trump, they're petrified of William Barr, and they call William Barr Trump's fixer, And they're like, oh my God, look what he's doing. It's so horrible. He's such a bad person. But they don't have anything on, like, William Barr hasn't indicted anybody, and he's investigating people who should never have investigated President Trump. He's not even investigating Democratic politicians. He's investigating Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Clapper, Brennan, Kleinsmith, all of these people who utilized a dossier literally purchased by Clinton. The Steele dossier that used to investigate Trump was purchased by Clinton. So that's why they're being investigated. And then you have the Papadopoulos meeting with an Australian diplomat that was literally linked to the Clinton Foundation, so much so that the country of Australia gave, $60+ million, $55 million to the foundation. But anyway, I love that. I think, who was it? Preet Bharara? Who was it? The Southern District? Who was the New York Attorney General or one of the top prosecutors that had the Clinton Foundation probe and found nothing? I love that so much. I love that. But here, prosecutors hint at probe into possibly extensive. What does this even mean? Usually there's a crime committed and then an investigation. So this is why they'll never touch Trump, because he hasn't committed crimes. I mean, he didn't have servers with top secret intel on them. He just didn't. He doesn't have a litany of quid pro quo like Uranium One giving millions to the Clinton Foundation and then suddenly miraculously President Obama not vetoing the sale, which is what Snopes was so proud of. Well, it's not Clinton. It's actually President Obama. He could have vetoed the sale. Yeah, well, why didn't he? I thought that Russians were petrified of Democrats. They're so petrified and frightened that they got only 20% of U.S. uranium capacity. Meanwhile, they obsess over Facebook ads. Facebook ads, uranium. Facebook ads, uranium. So, the Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Monday hinted that its subpoena for President Trump's tax returns was part of an investigation to possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization, including potential fraud. Prosecutors don't say possibly extensive. They say this is an investigation into criminal conduct. That's it. They don't say, it's possible. This is public relations. The Manhattan District Attorney's Office on Monday hinted that its subpoena for President Trump's tax returns was part of an investigation into possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct at the Trump Organization, including potential fraud allegations detailed in media reports in recent years. They're investigating based on media reports. Where's the special counsel based on Peter Schweizer's book Clinton Cash? I want to know this. Where's the special counsel based on Judicial Watch's work, John Solomon's work, Clinton Cash, Peter Schweizer? These are all media reports. I want to know, is it fair game to begin a special counsel on media reports now? Or to begin investigations? So they have nothing. It's unbelievable. They tried and failed. Whether it was Stormy, campaign finance violations, working with Russia, the Mueller probe literally found nothing. The evidence was not sufficient to charge anyone for anything other than process crimes. So they couldn't. This is the insidious and nefarious manner in which they behave. They knew that there were no underlying crimes. They knew that there were no actual, what they were accusing Trump of doing, Trump didn't do and the people around him didn't do. They knew this. They were very aware of this. So what they did was they said, okay, we know that Papadopoulos is innocent, so we're going to ask him, when did he meet Joseph Mifsud? We know that he's innocent. We're going to ask him what date he met Joseph Mifsud. If he gives us a wrong date, then he's obstructing justice and he committed perjury or he lied to an FBI agent. So if the FBI got you under James Comey and McCabe and Clapper and Strzok and Comey and that regime under President Obama, if they got you and you were accused of helping with the Russian Facebook ads so that nobody saw, that not one person changed their vote because of, and they asked you, wait a second, you were at a Trump rally. What date was it? I think it was late June. Wrong. It was in early June. Or it was late, you say late June, it was early July. That's it, you're done. You're going to jail, going to the big house. And then you get the retweets from all the wonderful, good, nice, morally, the superior liberals. Oh, you see? Oh my God, why did he lie? Why didn't he tell the truth? Well, what do you have to hide? If you're this, and then they go to the old communist mentality. Why lie if you have nothing to hide? Why don't you just go willingly to your investigators? Well, you're being targeted and treated unfairly. They set up people and framed them, and they got people on process crimes because people were afraid, or they tried to hide a detail that had nothing to do with working with Russia, because nobody was ever indicted on working with Russia. So this is what they're doing now. In response to the latest legal challenge by Trump's attorneys, New York County prosecutors said the news reports about the president's financial history provide sufficient justification for requesting the extensive amount of information from the accounting firm Mazars in their grand jury investigation. The news reports? Are you kidding me? The news reports? They're going, in light of these public reports of possibly extensive and protracted criminal conduct of the Trump organization, there was nothing facially improper about the Mazars subpoena. In light of news reports written by anti-Trump journalists, you think that people writing these news reports are wearing MAGA hats? You think they're wearing Make America Great Again shirts? I mean, this is the most hilarious thing in the world. No wonder the Supreme Court said, yeah, after the election, because we don't want to get into this mishigas with everybody. A footnote in the court filing listed 3 media stories published in 2018 and 2019 about the president's financial history. One of them, the Washington Post story, reported that Trump had inflated his net worth to potential lenders and investors. That's an issue with the lenders and investors. If they want to go and sue President Trump, that's their issue. This is hilarious. Okay. Money flowed into the Clinton Foundation from Uranium One, and then 20% of U.S. uranium capacity was signed off, or not vetoed, let's say. The sale was not vetoed. Why? Madam Secretary deleted 30,000 emails. Why? Without government oversight. And had servers for 4 years while quid pro quo transactions were taking place. Do you think maybe these deleted emails were about the Clinton Foundation? Do you think maybe these are the wonderful, smartest people in the room, prosecutors? How many articles have been written about the Clinton Foundation? So where's William Barr utilizing a Hill article from John Solomon or Jesus? They are investigating President Trump based on media reports. He's already defeated them. They have nothing. That's why they didn't impeach him. The impeachment was in February, right before the pandemic. Democrats weren't focused on saving lives. They were focused on getting rid of President Trump. Then they pivoted to, oh my God, the pandemic. We're the ones who were protecting you. No, you weren't. Democrats don't care about human life. Most of what they do, almost everything they do is simply political. That's why they had people vote in person in Wisconsin in the rain, getting pelted by hail during the pandemic in April. In March, before the curve was flattened in the U.S., in Illinois, Florida, and Arizona, in-person voting, millions of people, 4 primaries total, where 4 Democratic primaries during the pandemic where people voted in person in long lines, and they were drenched in a rainstorm in Wisconsin. Do you think media even focuses on this? And then you have 5 Democratic states accounting for over half of the lives lost in cases. And they still try to make it a red state issue. They're like, oh, the cases are going up in Florida. Well, look at the number of lives lost in Florida and compare that, and Texas, and compare that to New York, New Jersey, Michigan, Illinois, and Pennsylvania. So it's unbelievable. Give me your thoughts below. I mean, it's really, really unbelievable. Give me your thoughts below. The duplicity, they're so duplicitous and disingenuous. They're trying to investigate Trump based on news reports on the possibility a crime took place. Meanwhile, you have UBS, Boeing. I mean, forget about, look, you have obvious quid pro quo transactions with Madam Secretary and her foundation. They sweep all of this under the rug. Then the servers with top secret intel. Nobody knows how classified data got onto servers that she was using. Then you have, the lies and deceit. President Obama stated he didn't know his own Secretary of State had private servers. Well, Cheryl Mills, of course, said, yeah, he does know. And the whole thing is unbelievable because the media they're basically an extension. They are basically an extension of, they're basically an extension of the Democratic Party. The Southern District of New York is basically an extension. Hollywood, of course, is an extension. Social media is an extension. They have every single possible advantage, and they're going to lose again. Because nobody, in this day and age, the vitriol and the venom of the left is not relevant to the future of the country. Nobody cares anymore. You already had, the playbook is the same playbook. Trump is a racist, Russian, boorish, uncouth, horrible man. Russian Putin puppet. God bless the Russian people. God bless Russian Americans of Russian descent. God bless all of these people. What Democrats have done in their most xenophobic, you talk about xenophobia. Like Trump makes a crude remark in a speech because he makes a crude remark in his 2015 speech. And from that, they're like, oh my God, the bigotry, the base emotions. This is a... Have Democrats ever thought about how they've made Russian Americans feel? Have Democrats ever thought about blaming Russia without evidence? Sorry, James Clapper's high to moderate confidence assessment is not grounds, is not evidence that Putin wanted to interfere in the election. Why would he care about Democrats? Why would he fear Democrats? They invaded, Russia invaded Ukraine, and President Obama did nothing militarily. They came in with a Russian reset, and the uranium sale was exactly what Putin wanted. You think and then apparently he hacked into every single database, every single computer owned by Democrats, from the Clinton Foundation, the Congressional Democrats, the DNC. And why did he hack into the DNC? Because he knew there wouldn't be repercussions or whatever. Why was he said to have hacked in? Because they knew that this happened all during Democrats while they were in charge. So how does the media spin it to where Putin is afraid of Clinton, but not Trump? He's not afraid of either Trump or Clinton. But if anything, President Obama didn't provide lethal aid to Ukraine. It was Trump who did. Trump provided lethal aid to the Ukraine, engaged in more sanctions. What more do they want? There's still no evidence that any Facebook ad swung any vote, or Twitter bot, or the DNC emails. There's no evidence that. I remember being the biggest Bernie Sanders booster on the internet, according to the Huffington Post, and the unofficial scribe of one Sanders' most hardcore voters, according to the Washington Post. When those emails came out, Democrats on Twitter were laughing. Oh, that's all you have? Oh, big deal. Who cares? Who cares? And then they lost, and they said, oh my God, Russia. Talk about xenophobia. That is exactly what xenophobia is, blaming another country for your miserably failed election. But anyway, give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to H.A. Goodman's other channel if you want to support my voice long term. My Patreon is below. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. They're at it again. Be here to my 20-minute crowd. Be here this evening for my live streams about 9 p.m. Pacific. It's a long one, so like one long live stream, and you'll love it. Thank you very, very much. If you want to support my voice long term, people, your support is greatly appreciated on my Patreon. It's below in the pinned comment and description. Ladies and gentlemen, it's heating up. Everything's heating up. Tell your friends Hillary's going to be nominee, and I will have made the biggest political call of all time. Nobody but me, H.A. Goodman, nobody has told you from 2017, oh, and share my article, Hillary Clinton 2020 is a reality, get ready for 8 years of Trump. Please share that everywhere. If you're on social media, I am not, but if you're on Facebook, Twitter, share that. Give me your thoughts below. Thank you.